Bill Cosby was once lovingly known as America's Dad, largely due to his iconic role as the father figure in The Cosby Show. In recent years, however, Cosby has earned a much less savory reputation. He was the first of many celebrities to receive sexual assault allegations during the Me Too movement, and was subsequently convicted and sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison. On June 30th, 2021, just over 2 years into Bill Cosby's prison sentence, shocking news broke from Pennsylvania Supreme Court. They have officially overturned their previous ruling, thereby releasing Bill Cosby from prison and throwing out the case completely. In fact, Cosby has already been released and is now living back at home. With substantial evidence against Bill Cosby, many people are confused as to how this is possible. Stay tuned to find out exactly how this situation unfolded and what's next for Bill Cosby. The Bill Cosby allegation and arrest. Although the alleged events took place in 2004, it wasn't until 2015 when Andrea Constant came forward and accused Cosby of sexual assault. By her account, she was drugged by Cosby during a visit to his home. She later woke up on his couch to find her clothing out of place and cited unwanted sexual advances. Cosby claimed he only gave her Benadryl and that any activities were consensual. Eventually, Bill Cosby settled this accusation with her for $3.4 million. However, as information was released from this legal deposition, more accusers came forward. In total, more than 60 women came forward with sexual assault allegations against Cosby. 6 of these women went on to testify against him in various court appearances. Ultimately, the court deemed Cosby to be a predator who was a safety risk to women. He was convicted of indecent assault and was given a 3 to 10-year prison sentence to be served at SCI Phoenix in Pennsylvania. Bill Cosby in prison. With Bill Cosby officially convicted, it seemed justice had been served. Behind bars, however, Cosby's story kept getting worse. As COVID-19 spread, Cosby in his 80s decided to confine himself to his cell to minimize any risk of catching the virus. This meant he was not showering and had little to no social interaction. Furthermore, Cosby was diagnosed with a degenerative eye condition. According to sources, he is now completely blind. Given his declining health, his lawyers tried to get him released from prison early so he could escape the threats of the coronavirus. While the governor of Pennsylvania granted temporary release for vulnerable inmates, sex offenders were not eligible for the same privileges. So Cosby has remained in prison through the pandemic. This means his only opportunity to be released was on parole. Ordinarily, attending a parole hearing with good behavior and apologetic statement can help someone get parole and earlier release. Shockingly, Bill Cosby had no plan to do such a thing. Firmly sticking to his story, Cosby said he refuses to show any remorse when he's up for parole. He insists no one else was present during his alleged assault, and therefore they don't know what really happened. By refusing to show remorse and apologize to his victims, Cosby is willingly making a decision that could jeopardize his chances of an early release. As it turns out, Cosby never had a chance for parole anyway. In order to be eligible for parole, he had to participate in the sex offender programs while in prison. He refused, as he believed they would be a sign of remorse or guilt. After these events, it seemed likely Cosby would serve his entire prison sentence, or, due to his declining health, live out the remainder of his years behind bars. But all that changed when the Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturned their previous ruling. Bill Cosby's conviction overturned. Cosby had multiple criminal trials related to various sexual assault allegations. In one of these trials, the presiding judge reached a non-prosecution agreement. Under these terms, the judge decided Cosby would not be prosecuted for the allegations against him. However, the most important part of this agreement is that it also barred the case from trial again in the future. Ultimately, the documented non-prosecution agreement gave Cosby permanent protection from standing trial for the sexual assault allegations. The problem is, this information was not communicated during the trial that ultimately ended in his conviction and arrest. Without any knowledge of the non-prosecution agreement, a new prosecutor arrested Bill Cosby after new evidence came out against him. As it turns out, this arrest was illegitimate because of the previous agreement. Cosby's lawyers have been challenging the arrest for years and eventually found documented evidence that this non-prosecution agreement was made. Upon receiving this information in court, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court found it legitimate, meaning that Bill Cosby could not be charged for the crimes he was convicted of. Therefore, the court immediately overturned their previous ruling, granting Cosby an immediate release from prison. The public response. After countless accusers have come forward with similar allegations, it's needless to say there are many people who oppose the court's decision. After all, Bill Cosby was the first Hollywood icon to be successfully convicted for his alleged crimes. Many people in Hollywood, particularly women, as well as sexual assault victims around the world, felt justice was finally being served. One of the first to speak out was Amber Tamblyn, an actress known for her role in Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. As a victim of sexual assault, she not only understood what the victims experienced, but she knew some of them too. She says she personally knows multiple women assaulted by Bill Cosby and expressed her disappointment in the court and the decision. Actress Deborah Messing took to Twitter to express her thoughts. She shared her heart was hurting for the victims affected by Bill Cosby and feels both fury and horror over the decision to release him. However, not everyone is outraged. Actress Phylicia Rashad was one of the most prominent voices who spoke out in celebration of Cosby's release. Rashad played Claire Huxtable on The Cosby Show. She tweeted that with Cosby's release, a terrible wrong was finally being made right. What's next for Bill Cosby? Although Cosby has yet to make a statement, his lawyers insist he is in strong spirit and excellent health despite his blindness. Upon release from prison, he was driven home for the first time in nearly 3 years. He was seen smiling and waving from his car as he drove away. It's expected for Cosby to make an appearance alongside his lawyers soon, but sources say Cosby requested to shower and nap before making any appearances. Although he's no longer behind bars, there is still huge outrage surrounding Bill Cosby's actions. Due to his non-prosecution agreement and the outcome of previous court cases, he can no longer be tried in court for previous sexual assault allegations. Additionally, most of the accusers who came forward with allegations cited events in the 70s and 80s. The statute of limitations for these crimes is only 12 years, so Cosby can now only be convicted for new allegations regarding events that occurred within the last 12 years. This means Cosby may be a free man for the rest of his life. But his lawyers aren't satisfied. Given that his arrest should not have happened due to the non-prosecution agreement, they claim he was wrongfully arrested. In many states, victims of wrongful convictions are eligible to be paid as much as $50,000 a year they spent incarcerated. Previously, Pennsylvania was not a state that paid wrongful conviction settlements, but Governor Tom Wolf recently proposed wrongful conviction settlements in the 2021 budget proposal. Cosby made an estimated $400 million throughout his career, so it's unlikely he needs any cash settlements. But given his lawyers' vehement opposition to his arrest, it's likely they'll pursue wrongful conviction payments for their client if possible. Given his blindness and being blacklisted from Hollywood, it seems unlikely Cosby would be able to resume acting or comedy. But this probably won't be the last we hear about Bill Cosby. Now it's time to hear from you. After the recent events, would you like to see Bill Cosby return to TV, or did he ruin his entertainment career for good? And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to FactsVerse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.